Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to our first Q&A session. It's great to see you all here and we're really looking forward to hearing from all of you today. So for those of you who are not familiar with our program yet, Communication Leadership, commonly known as CommLead, is a graduate program at the University of Washington in Seattle. Since 2000, it has provided students from all over the world with impactful learning opportunities and hands-on experiences to help them become the leaders of tomorrow. During their time in the program, students build the necessary communication knowledge, strategies, and skills to manage content, information, systems, people, and change. So welcome everyone. My name is Valeska. I am the outreach and event coordinator with CommLead right now, and I'm also a cohort 21 student. And so before we continue to talk more about the program, we will quickly go over some housekeeping stuff. So this event is being recorded, so you can access it later through the CommLead YouTube channel. So please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat box and ask any questions you may have throughout the session. If you're comfortable, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question when it's time. Or you can send them on the chat, and if not, you can also send them privately to me, and I'll be happy to ask them. So here with me today is one of our student ambassadors, Sandra, who's going to help me answer some of your questions. And I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her CommLead journey so far.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Sandra. I'm a cohort 22, a student, and I'm majoring in communication, communities and networks. And yeah, this is first time. Actually, I've been an ambassador in my previous school too. In getting new potential students to the university, I was representing India. So that was for the uh, international office of the University of Central Oklahoma. So, but I'm really looking forward working with you as an ambassador of CommLead department, and I wish I hope I can put my all the experience I had in the past to the current position. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Sandra. And just a little bit about myself, as I am a student as well. I am, as I mentioned, cohort 21. So I just started my second year in the program. My background is in architecture. I am an international student from Panama, and I basically chose CommLead because when I was working as an architect a couple of years ago, I started to get more interested into the designing part of digital media. So I wasn't really sure if I wanted to pursue either UX or digital marketing. So I wanted to find a program that would offer me the option to explore the career path that I wanted to take. And that's basically why I decided to do CommLead. And it has been an amazing experience so far. It has given me the opportunity to explore different things, different classes, to work with real clients. And I think that the fact that we have so many opportunities to actually do real work and work with real clients in real world situations is really one of the best things that the program offers. Um, so yeah, moving on. So as you know, the focus of today's Q&A session is the different degree tracks that CommLead offers. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what those different tracks are before we finally move on to your questions. So the program originally started with only one track, and due to the growing interest and rise in student numbers, a third degree was actually added recently. Um, so the first one is a Master of Communication in Digital Media. And this track emphasizes students' content creation skills, literacy of emerging technologies, and proficiency of platforms. It teaches students to craft intelligent engagement strategies using media production, distribution of content, and analytics. It includes classes such as the future of marketing, introduction to user-centered design, or law, data, and privacy. The second track is Master of Communication in Communities and Networks. And the MCCN track has its focus on building community, growing networks, and crafting organizational identity. Students learn the collaborative skills necessary to manage change, recognize and navigate interpersonal dynamics, and design effective strategies for engaging diverse publics. This track includes classes such as leadership approaches to diversity initiatives in organizations, communication for advocacy, or content marketing. And finally, our newest track is the Master of Communication in Communication Leadership. So it is a 2-year program that provides a broad foundation of preparation for those changing career fields or with little experience and looking to launch a new career in the communication industries. It requires 60 credits, allowing for breadth of study with classes taken across all of COMLEAD's curricular areas. Students also complete a required internship, professional writing training, and a capstone project. It is especially designed for those seeking a broad foundation in communication theory, practice, and methods, particularly those with no prior communication experience. So if you're interested in learning more about the program, feel free to reach out to us anytime or attend more of our upcoming Q&A sessions. I'm gonna drop some information on the chat box right now. And the first link is the upcoming admission events, and that's also our website. And then the first email is my personal email. Feel free to reach out anytime. And then the second one is the official COMLEAD email. And yeah, finally, we are moving on to your questions. So you can start sending them on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask them. Yeah, Lisa.
Hi, I'm wondering about what's the program's general internship assistant on, because I think for me, one of the main reasons I want to apply for this program is that I think it gives me a lot of practical skills, and I would want to do like not just like in school learning, but also get hands-on experience from internships. And I'm wondering what's like is there like career fair or like school services that helps with internship searches and also like job searches after graduation? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, so COMLEAD does something called First Fridays, and that's a career event that happens every first Friday or first Thursday of every month. And it's basically a company. We have a private event with them for COMLEAD students where you get to know hiring managers and the sometimes alumni who are currently working there. Right now, we're doing them over Zoom, but it's honestly, I can tell you, it's they're great for networking. And these companies, they usually provide like a list of their available internships and how you can reach out to them about that. Apart from that, I would say there are more opportunities to network through other social events on here with Comlead. And then the UW, the university also organizes several career fairs throughout the year, which are really helpful to find internship and even full-time job opportunities. And oh, I do have to add that there is a Comlead weekly newsletter that goes out to all the students, faculty, and alumni on Mondays every week. And on this newsletter, you can find a section that lists a lot of opportunities for full-time jobs, part-time jobs, and internships. So these are usually companies that either reach out to Comlead and tell them like, hey, we have these positions available, or sometimes even alumni, they reach out and they say, hey, my company is looking for this kind of person. And you get that newsletter every week. So yeah, I would say there are definitely many opportunities that Comlead provides, as well as the University of Washington. And for example, there's also like Comlead is organizing a career fair in a couple of months. So yeah, there are definitely many opportunities that we do offer for that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, of course. I'm gonna read the next question from the chat. It says, it's from Kana. And please feel free to correct me if I'm pronouncing your names incorrectly. This one says, how many students are usually in a cohort per year? And do you usually only take courses with those in the same degree track? Okay, so there's usually over 100 people in a cohort. I think cohort 22 is around 120. And then my cohort 21, was like 114. So I would say definitely a little over 100. And then, no, you don't actually. And that's because even though we may choose like different degree tracks, you can actually take some classes from a different track. And there are some classes that are track neutral. That means that anyone, any track can take them. So you definitely get the chance to collaborate and to interact with people from from other tracks. And during your first year, you're actually going to take 2 core classes, which are 501 and 502, which you're going to take with your whole cohort. So it doesn't matter what your track is, everyone has to take 501 and 502. So yeah, you'll definitely get the chance to meet everyone else, even if they're not, if they don't have your same track. Okay, we have another one. Hi there. I'm also an international student from Mexico, and I would like to know how is the process for international students and the total tuition and fees per year. As I understand, I need to show bank account statements to cover a year. Hi. So yeah, I went through all of this as well, and I'm gonna be sharing with you the official tuition and fees page from Comlead, and that's where you can find like the most updated cost of tuition, and even like that it's gonna tell you also like how, like the fees from the university. So it's gonna give you like an exact number of how much it's gonna be the total, right? And then when you are applying for an F1 visa, you do need to show bank statements. So you don't need to show that for the program. You just apply. But when you're going to apply to the U.S. Embassy to get your F1 visa, you do need to have it can be a bank statement, or if you have a scholarship or a student loan, but it has to be a proof of funding, meaning that you can actually cover the tuition here and then your expenses. That official number is gonna come with your official F1 your F1 document once you start the process. But yeah, before you need to apply to the program, and once you're accepted, then you can start this process. But yeah, you do need the bank statement. Yeah, let me know if there's something that wasn't clear. I'm happy to. Okay. Kana asks, in terms of campus life, how do you find the student experience on campus for master's students? Okay, so I personally, I live off campus, but I live close to campus. So if you go to Google Maps, you can see that we have the UW campus here, and then there is like this big neighborhood called U District. That's basically where most students live. So for me, as an international student, I really wanted to get involved in like the university activities because I didn't really have that experience back home. Like we don't have the whole college culture, right? So I've been honestly like I've been having so much fun, like going to all the activities, to the sports games, hanging out with people at the campus because the campus is just beautiful. And I feel that even as a master's student, you don't really feel excluded from these activities. You still get all the invitations from the university. You can attend all the events. You are basically just the same as an undergrad student in that sense that you have the right to attend all the events. And in my experience from my cohort, there are several people who also enjoy going to the events and to the football games. So yeah, I think it really depends on you and how much you want to get, like how much you actually want to participate on them. But there are plenty of activities and plenty to do. Okay, the next one is, as an international student, do I have to start my process before local students? So I believe that used to be the case with the deadline for application, but I think right now there's only one deadline or two for everyone. But I would say I do recommend that you apply by the first deadline because as an international student, there is like a bunch of legal stuff that you have to get done before you can actually come here, right? I mean, like domestic students, they usually either live here in Seattle or they just have to move like within the country. But we as an international students, we have to go through the whole visa process, and sometimes that can take a while because you have to prepare all of your documents, you have to make your appointment at the embassy, you have to go through the appointment, and after that it's a few days after you get for you to get your visa, and then you also have to find an apartment, and there's a lot of things that we have to do as international students. So I would definitely recommend applying by the first deadline. Okay, so we have one that says, what kind of jobs does a master in communication leadership prepare you for? Do you mean the master of communication, like our whole master's program, or do you mean the new track? And I'm going to, okay. Okay. So yeah, so the difference with the Conlead, the new track, with the other tracks is that it is basically mix between the other two tracks, and then you have the internship that you have to do and the capstone project, right? So in terms of what jobs you could do with this title, you could basically do either like you can do both jobs that are more common to like people in NCDM, which is like digital media, or people on MCCN, who are communities and network, because you're basically a mix of these two. That's why it takes longer, because you're taking more classes and you're learning more stuff. And then they do have the capstone project and the internship, I mean, as a required thing, because the program is kind of meant for people who are coming from very different backgrounds. Like maybe this would be a career, like a career change for them. So it gives you, it teaches you more basically. But the kind of jobs that you can apply for could be the same as someone from NCDM or MCCM. You just have more opportunity. For example, people from NCDM, they usually go for digital marketing and UX design or video storytelling. That's the kind of jobs they usually go for. And then people in MCCN, it's more like communications and internal communications and this kind of more like community focused roles, while the digital media, it's more, I would say, more design, or like actually, like more related to digital media, as the name says. Yeah, of course. And I'm gonna share with you, because I think this might be helpful. Um, I'm trying to find. Yeah, so this is the complete website, and that there you can find a, basically they talk a little bit about each track, and you can find like some examples of job titles, and then you can even find on our website like some alumni and what they're up to, what are their job titles. So yeah, that'd be good to check out. We have definitely, I mean, MCCL is a new track, but we have definitely have people for both, like from both MCDM and NCCN, who have decided to uh, like switch to MCCL because they really wanted to explore like both tracks, and they wanted to extend their time in the program. So it's definitely a good opportunity for that. Okay, so Dean is asking, hi, if I want to pursue a career in the UX field, is this program suitable for me? Yeah, completely. NCDM, one of the specializations of the MCDM track is content, content design and UX. So you can definitely take all of the UX classes, and then those classes prepare you for a career in UX. And I could say I honestly think half of our like half, maybe, I don't know if half, but like a lot of people from the program pursue UX. It's one of the most popular classes. I mean, all of the UX classes, they always um, feel like really fast because people are so interested in it. And yeah, we do have a lot of classes in UX. I'm going to share with you our courses. And then we have alumni working in UX that you can meet on the social events. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so I just shared on the chat box. If you go to that link, you're gonna see the courses for the content strategy and UX design and UX specialization. And I think you're gonna see the ones that we have available for the current quarter. I mean, this is what it's available right now during the fall. Like people have already started taking these classes. And you have, for example, practicum, which is so the practicum classes are opportunities for students to work with real life clients. There are practicums in UX, practicums in video storytelling, um, and basically what we do is that the class works with usually it's a local organization, and they basically help them to solve a problem. Um, so that's a really good, like that's a great class because you get to actually work with real clients, which is great. And then you have other classes like introduction to user-centered design, user research and UX strategies, content marketing, the psychology of user experience. And there is a really cool one that it's happening next quarter that it's called Advanced UX Studio. So for that one, you have to have taken either introduction to user design or user research or UX strategies before taking that one because it's an advanced class. But yeah, definitely check that out, review the courses because there are so many offer in the UX specialization. Okay, another one from Kana. It says, is there a preference between having more academic or professional references for the application, having 2 academic and 1 professional, or 2 professional and 1 academic? As far as I know, it doesn't. I would say it doesn't really matter and in having either academic or professional, because we have people who come straight from their undergrad, so sometimes they have more like their references are more like professors and these kind of people. And then you have people who are like in their mid 40s, so their references are mostly professional. So yeah, it's definitely like either 2 academic and 1 professional, or 2 professional and 1 academic is totally fine. As long as they can, give a good reference about you. I can tell you personally, I had one I think I had 2 professional and 1 academic. But I had been, like, I graduated from my bachelor's in 2017, so it was easier for me to have 2 professional and 1 academic. Okay, so now Naomi is asking, are there any RATA part-time jobs or other such opportunities to aid funding that we can start looking at now for students aspiring to join in the 2023 cohort? Okay, so the UW does have a lot of job opportunities. You can definitely I mean, you can find some of those on their website, on the UW website. I think if you Google like student jobs, but I think that once you join UW, you can get into the UW handshake, and there you can find like way more available jobs for sure. Yeah, there are RA and TA, and also with ComLead, ComLead has a lot of student positions available every year. For example, I have a student position, which means that once I graduate, other student has to take this position, and there are like several others. So that's definitely an option. And then some students in ComLead work as assistants to some instructors, but it's not as common as maybe trying to find a TA job with UW. But yeah, there are definitely plenty of opportunities. Of course. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Thanks for coming, and I hope to see you here next year. So I'm gonna share with you all. We have some upcoming events. We have an open house. I'm gonna share that link with you. It's gonna be both in person and online, so you can join from wherever you are. Oh, okay. And team is asking, hi, as an international student, is it possible to get internship? And is the communication leadership program a STEM for all degree track? Also, I would like to know whether the admission is in rolling basis, that it will be more competitive to apply earlier, or the applications will only be reviewed after the deadline. Okay, so for the first one, the internships. So the program does not offer internships. There are some funding resources available that you can check them out, but not internships per se. The program is STEM for all of the degree tracks. So yeah, that's a yes. And the admissions, there is a deadline, and they start reviewing the applications after the first deadline. So after the first deadline, they review the applications, they send out the acceptance or rejection letters, and then there is a second deadline for applications, but that one is more limited. Like there are less spaces available. So if you really want to get in the program, I would definitely recommend applying by the first deadline. And I'm going to share with you also. Okay. So is here in that link, you can find basically a checklist of all the things you need to prepare for your application, as well as the application deadlines. So the first one, which is the priority consideration, is February 1, and all decisions will be delivered by March 31st. And then the second round, which is limited spots, is March 31st, and the decision will be given to you by May 1st. But yeah, I would definitely recommend applying by the first deadline, and even more so if you are an international student, because that gives you more time to prepare. Okay, so Teen is asking, do majority of students have a communication or relevant background in the program? I would say yes and no. I mean, most of the students do have something related to communications, but not all of them, and it's not a requirement. Me, for example, my background is in architecture, so it's really not a communications field per se. And I think we even had someone who was in like fashion design, someone who had a background in science, and yeah, we definitely have people from very different backgrounds. So it's really not no, it's not a requirement. I honestly feel like it's a great program in that sense, that you never feel like if you have a different background, like you're going to be able to keep up, or like you don't know enough. No, I feel like the classes are like, there are different classes, like classes for people who know a little bit more, classes for people who are pivoting. So yeah, it's definitely not something that it's gonna make you it's gonna impact you negatively in any sense. And Sandra, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just adding on with you because I am a recent MBA graduate, so even I'm not from a communication major, and I am actually going to, look forward studying UX and UI further. So again, I don't have any experience in UX UI. So it's absolutely a wonderful major that you can join with, zero experience in it. So you will gradually learn. Even I am starting it new. I feel it like I'm grasping. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as you mentioned, we have people who are coming from business and who are trying to pivot into something else. And yeah, myself, I'm trying to pivot into UX as well. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid of that. So the next question is from Mame. She's asking, hello, what sets the communities and networks program apart from the others? Okay, so the communities and networks program, it's more focused and as the title basically says, and like working on creating like on community building classes, you know. I would say the classes are very different from MCDM, which is digital media, because the digital media classes are more practical in the sense of working with like digital tools and more creative in that sense of design, I would say. If you're going for UX, for example, even though you're still learning about how to kind of like maintain that connection to people, you're actually seeing it more from a design and UX side. And it's the same from marketing. If you're going for the digital marketing or the video storytelling classes. So I would say digital media, it's more like focus on creating content and creating products, while MCCN is more focused in community building and those classes that basically help you create a more accessible world and to understand people and build the right environments where everyone feels welcome in these kind of classes. So yeah, I think there's definitely a difference in that sense. But again, there are some classes that are neutral track, so they're both for MCDM and NCCN, and there are classes for MCCN that are from NCCN that are really popular and that people from NCDM still take because they're like really good and really interesting, and vice versa. So yeah, I would say that's the main difference. Naomi's asking, as an international student, was there something that surprised you? Anything that you did not anticipate after you joined the course? Honestly, from the program, I wouldn't say so. I think that I mean, personally, from my perspective, I have been following the program since I think late 20, no, like mid 2019. And I actually attended like so many like Q&As, like you guys are here, and like the virtual open houses and all of those events. And I started following them on Instagram. So I kind of like got used to the program and I read the whole website. So I feel like I was really prepared. Like I kind of knew a lot about it before I came here. So yeah, in that sense, I wouldn't say anything negative. I mean, it was definitely a surprise when I came here and I saw that there were a lot of international students, made me not feel like alone, because the cohorts are usually half and half. You have a lot of international students, but you also have domestic students. So that is, for me, that's great because you have such a good diversity of people, and it's honestly so interesting to talk to everyone and like learn about their cultures and their backgrounds and what they were doing before coming here, because we all have so many different experiences, but at the same time, like you still get to connect to people and you feel like you actually belong here. So yeah, there was definitely nothing negative that I can say so far. It's been great. So yeah, you're welcome, Mame. Um, you're welcome 2016. I hope so. I hope you applied, and I hope to see you here next year. You're welcome, Naomi. And thank you all for being here. We have more Q&As in the future. We have the open house that I shared with you. So yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And I really recommend attending the open house because faculty and staff are going to be there and alumni. So you're going to get a chance to ask questions to, you know, the instructors and the people who have already graduated the program. You're welcome, Kana. Thank you for being here. You're welcome. It says some user, that's why I don't know your name, but you're welcome. And yeah, I hope to see you here next year. You're welcome, Claire. You're welcome, Jenton. Oh, Lupita. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, we will be sharing the recording just as a reminder again. So if you want to rewatch this, you'll get the chance to. You're welcome, Nami. Again, feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. Our emails are at the top of the chat. Okay, Mame is asking, at what point in the program do students start working on community projects or projects for organizations? So basically since the start, so if you take a practicum class, for example, in the first quarter, you would start working with an organization right away. And even some of the classes, they do work with, sometimes they work with real organizations, sometimes they choose an organization to kind of like base their project in. But other than that, there's something called a ComLead consultancy, which is basically an opportunity for students to work with real life clients. And there are two kind of positions. You can have a volunteering position or a paid position. So they're both like you, in both options, you work with real life clients and companies. Sometimes they are small businesses here in Seattle, and the positions, like there are very a wide variety of positions. There are positions with UX, positions with marketing, storytelling, content marketing, communication strategy. So it really depends on what you're interested in. But yeah, you can definitely start working on community projects or with real life organizations since the first quarter. Yeah, I'm gonna share with you. Okay, so here on the website, you can check out like some of the previous companies that ComLead has worked with, and you can see what students have been working on lately. So yeah, definitely the consultancy is a really great opportunity if you're looking to like work with real clients. Yeah, yeah, it is. Complete actually, um, like they like the program per se has they do interact a lot with like real organizations and trying to create change and make positive impact and uh, like involve students and their abilities and skills in that process. So I really think it's a really unique program in that sense. Um, yeah, there are so many opportunities. Well, I think that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much also to Sandra, our student ambassador, for taking the time to be here. And of course,
Yeah, thank you
Sandra.
so much. Thank you so much, and it was my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Also, if you, I don't know, if you want to share maybe your full name so they can reach out to you on LinkedIn,
Sure,
maybe, or
I
your
can put,
email.
yeah, I can put my full name and my email ID in the chat. So,
Yeah.
yeah, feel free
Thank
to
you.
message me or mail me. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. Feel free to reach out at my email. You already have it. That's my full name. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. The recording will be up on YouTube soon. And we have a lot of more upcoming events. So yeah, thank you for joining, and we hope to see you here next year.